Hey, hey, hey. Hey, basement crew. Hey, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Welcome, welcome. I know there's some people having a rough time getting on tonight, but hopefully they will join us soon. They're still trying. So let's go right over. Me and Becky. It's me and Becky tonight. Let me find Becky. We've got some announcements to do. It's just me and you. So hey, Becky, let's start with group coaching. So last night, a lot of people were at group coaching last night. We were so excited. It's been a couple years since we've been able to do group coaching. It was something that just doesn't work on Zoom. And so since COVID shut us down, we haven't done any group coaching until last week. And it was so awesome to have people in person. Nico's got a little picture there. It was a lot of fun. So our next session is coming up on March 9th, 6 o'clock. You'll want to get registered. I did put the registration link in the chat. I'll pop it again right now so it's fresh and new for everybody. There's no cost to the event, but you do want to register because there is limited seating. So you want to get registered early. There's still plenty of spots left for that session, but we do intend to sell out, but if there's no cost, but we do tend to fill all the seats. So you want to get registered early to reserve your spot. So there's the link. And we're probably going to be doing that about every other week or so. We'll announce the next week as we go each time, but right now the next one is March 9th. So really looking forward to that. So Becky, what did you think about our first group coaching? What does everybody need to know?
Oh, what does everybody need to know? You need to share. That's what you need to know.
Yeah, for those who have no idea what group coaching is all about, what do you love about it?
I love being in a room with people that really do understand what it is that you're going through, and that you can be, open and honest with them in that space, and just, try to work together towards solutions. And, it's very hard to do that with your friends and family in a lot of cases. And that's what I really miss about being in person together, is just that energy of being, and it's upbeat too. That's the other thing. It's generally, there's a few tears now and then, but for the most part, it's pretty positive and really awesome to be together.
Yeah. We make it fun around here.
Yeah.
We don't do anything that's not fun. And somebody last week during group coaching had asked, what's the difference between group coaching and workshops? Because workshops as well, we have not done since pre-COVID, but we will be announcing a workshop date coming up. The difference between a workshop and a group coaching is more interactive. Group coaching, everybody's speaking, everybody gets a chance. Whatever you're going through right now, you get an opportunity to talk with Art and get coached on whatever it is you're going through. So it's very interactive with group coaching, and you get to observe other people, and you learn just so much through everybody's stories. That's group coaching. Workshop format is more of a teaching, and it's awesome. So we look forward to announcing a date soon. So stay tuned. The second thing that I have is Run for Recovery. Oh, Sherry Pennington just said, love the group coaching and connecting with other families. Yes. Hope you guys are going to be there again next time, Sherry. We love having you there. The next thing is Run for Recovery. Want to make sure everybody has it on their calendars. For Saturday, May 7th is our third annual Run for Recovery. We have some special things in the works. We're behind the scenes working on it right now. We will be launching officially on the first day of spring, coming up on March 20th. And we are going to be reaching out for all of you to help us spread the word to all of your friends. And so I'm looking for 10 solid people that are willing to send out an email that I'll send you the template for, and you can customize it and personalize it. But I'm looking for 10 solid, but really everybody, but 10 solid people that will sit down and message out all of your friends and family and contacts, beyond battlefields, so we can really promote this event. And so if you're willing, I'm going to talk more about it tomorrow at Mom's Group with all the moms that come on. But if you are willing to be a person who can spend 1 hour on March 20th, if you can spend 1 hour on Sunday, March 20th, shooting out a message to all of your friends to really promote this event, could you pop me a text and say, sign me up. I'm willing, whatever. Could you pop me a text and I'll put my number in the chat in case anybody doesn't know it. But I'm looking for 10 solid people, but we are going to be asking everybody to share it with all of your friends, all of your family. We want to reach beyond battlefields. So we want all of you there participating, but we want this event to reach way beyond people that show up here on solution groups. So that's going to be launched on March 20th, more details to come. But if you're willing to be one of my people that will spend 1 hour on March 20th, please shoot me a message and let me know. All right. Any last things, Becky?
Oh, just to remind people about Mom's Coffee tomorrow at 11. And if you haven't come before, it's great. The moms just get together. We talk about whatever the topic is tonight, whatever is going on, with you, either personally or with your addict or anyway, we just get together and share and get to know each other. It's really pretty awesome. And I miss it when I can't go. So tomorrow I'm excited because I can be there. And if you need the link, you could message me or Angie via Facebook here, or Angie at battlefieldaddiction.com or Becky at battlefieldaddiction.com. And then can I mention monthly partners?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to say thank you to all the monthly partners because you really are what keeps Battlefield going. And without you, there wouldn't be Battlefield. We could not have Angie and Kristen here all the time. So anyway, thank you so much. If you're able to sign up, please do. Just go to the website. Same thing if you can, if you're able to, donate a little for Solution Group, that would be great too. You just go to the website and there's a box that'll pop up. Monthly partners, you'll see that as a choice. But as far as, for Solution Group, if you want to put in battle funds or write Solution Group, there's a little box that says notes and you can just put that in there and we'll know what that's for. But let's see if I'm missing anything. But anyway, I mean, really, it's all of you that are able to help when you can, because I mean, what you do is you're making it possible for, everything that Battlefield does to be at no cost. And how, when people come to Battlefield, a lot of times they're not in any financial position. They've been so strapped with what's going on with their kids. So, or their husband, wife, whatever it may be. But what you're doing is you take that worry off those people that maybe need the help right then. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Becky. Okay, let's go over to the crew. Where's our Kyle? Let me take it out spotlight. We got Kyle for some comedy. Hey, Kyle, you're not showing your hair. Wanted to show you off there. Got a haircut? Looking sharp, looking sharp. So we got Kyle Munkers. He brings our comedy every week. He's a manager over there at Rebuild Recovery. So take it away, Kyle.
Okay. Congratulations, Troy. I saw you 2 years. Good job, buddy. Okay.
Yes.
What happens when someone slaps you at a high frequency? It mega hurts.
Maybe speak just a little bit louder. We heard it, but a little bit louder would be good.
Okay. I accidentally sprayed deodorant in my mouth. Now when I talk, there's an accent. There was an accident. I'm pretty proud of myself. A friend of mine gave me a puzzle and it said, from 2 to 3 years. It only took me 2 minutes. Huh?
I like that one.
Short. You should have said 2 months. 2 months. All right.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Art. Earlier today, Art told me I had two major faults. One is I don't listen very well, and something else I don't know. Never blame someone for the road you're on. It's your own ass fault. What do you call a girl on a swing with no arms? Sarah. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Not Sarah.
Because she look at Emily laughing.
Yesterday, one of the clients, Cam, told me that I make people feel uncomfortable because I'm usually violating their personal space. You know, that really hurt my feelings, and it really ruined our bath. That's all I got.
Thank you, Kyle. Thank you. All right. All right. Cute seeing you up on the screen, Emily. All right. I think we're ready. People are still trying to roll in, but that's okay. Oh, you know what? Let me just mention, if you ever get to a point where you're having a difficult time logging into the Zoom, always check for updates. Zoom is constantly rolling out security updates. So depending on your device, and so sometimes you think you already have the update, but maybe you're on a different device and you swap back and forth and all devices don't have the update. That tends to be the most common issue. Being logged in on your accounts for your Zoom accounts and the Zoom updates are the two culprits to having issues with that. So just a note, if that ever happens to you, that could be the problem. So, okay. Now we're ready for you, Art.
When I was when I was like I think I was around 10 or 11 years old, my father had a red maroon, like one of those old shag vans or whatever. It had shag carpet wall to wall. It was a maroon van. It had windows. It had the two captain's chairs, and then it was empty. And then in the back, there was a bench, and it was red carpet throughout the whole thing. And then he had a magazine rack that was in there. And on the magazine rack, he put a Playboy. But what he did with the Playboy was he put a bolt and a nut through it with a washer. So I couldn't get at it. I couldn't open the Playboy. It was just sitting in the magazine rack, bolted and locked, you know. How does that end? You know, what's going to happen there? You know, I'm going to be out there with some tools. You know, when my cousin died, I was only 5 the first time my cousin died. And I remember my mom told me, one, not to talk about it. And then she told me, two, that I couldn't go to the funeral because I wasn't ready for funerals. So I didn't get to go to my cousin's funeral. I wasn't ready for funerals. I don't know what that meant, but I think that started really early on, that there was these things that were hidden from me, or things that I shouldn't be a part of, or whatever it was. And I really didn't like that. And then when I was 11 years old, I became a counselor for the first time. I think it was 11. My parents had a fight, and I was young, but I knew the difference in my household between good and bad, when it was good and when it was bad. And they had a fight, and it was the first fight that I've ever experienced. And after this fight, they didn't speak, and this went on for months. My parents weren't talking in this house for months. And as a young kid, I can remember the turmoil in my life at this time. I mean, I really believed that they were going to get a divorce. And I used to go down, I remember fantasizing. I would take it all the way to, well, if my mom ever got with another guy, I will never like that man. And I would tell him how stupid he is, and he could never, ever be my dad. And I would have all these crazy fantasies as a kid, not fantasies, but nightmares about what's going to happen to my life. And I spent 3 months in this kind of turmoil. And I remember it because I remember distinctly for the first time not being present. I remember for the first time being at school, but not really being at school, really being in my head. And that was the first time I hadn't had any, that I wasn't free like that. And I was really, really, I can remember sitting watching the kids play basketball and not wanting to play basketball because I needed to think about what to do about my parents. And I needed to get this figured out, you know? And finally, the way it ended was, it was like a Friday night, and my parents were fighting loudly upstairs. They were arguing with each other. I think they'd been drinking a bit, and they didn't really know I heard them or whatever. But I walked out of my room and I punched the wall. And I was a kid, and oh, it's another thing as a kid, you didn't swear around your parents back then. You just didn't. So they didn't know I swore, I guess. I don't know. So I punched the wall and I walked up to my dad and mom, and they were sitting upstairs right here. And I walked up in the living room and I said, "This fucking ends tonight." I was 11. I said, "I will not live another day in this house like this." I said, "You two will sit here and talk until this is fucking over." And they did. My parents sat down and talked. And they talked until, I don't know if they did the next day or whenever they did, but it ended quick. And they knew that I couldn't do another day the way it was. And it was the first time that I kind of realized a couple things. I realized that you have to confront things. I became confrontational at that age. I was really, and I also realized that you can make an impact as a person on other people, and you can make an impact on your life. You can do something about shit. It was very powerful to be 11 years old and figure out that I can have an impact on my parents, and I can have an impact on my sisters, and I can change the energy of a house. I can do that. I can change the entire energy of a house if I just get what's underneath pulled up. And I started, and it was a skill that I learned. Now, I didn't hone that skill. I didn't really care about it at the time. I've now later on in life really see where it came from. But the thing that we were talking about last week was we were talking about persona. And I think on the thing is that's a front, and we all live these fronts in life, and kind of like the Playboy, like my dad, how is that going to be for a young kid? You know, here's something, don't look at it. And then don't tell people we look at it, and don't do that. Well, now I'm all screwed up because I think sex is bad and naked women are bad. And I got all this kind of weird things going on and distortion as a kid. And you should have a Playboy, but you shouldn't look, and you should bolt it, and you should wait till a certain age. And very confusing when you kind of look at that. And it's kind of like an underneath thing that's like people putting on a persona of what we do. And I think if you go down this road of like addiction kind of being a rebellion to the persona, addiction is a rebellion to the front. And if you look at that and see that kind of like, you know what, I'm not faking life anymore, and I'm not putting up with shit. And there's weird shit going on, and I feel there's weird shit going on, and you're not talking, and you're not talking, and you're not saying nothing, and you're kind of fucked up, and you're resentful and angry. And I talk to you about this person behind their back, and I talk to you about this person behind their back, and you're all full of shit. And then it was kind of for me like, you know what, I'll just get drunk. I'll get drunk and I'll get high, and it's fine. And I'll be the truth in that when I'm drunk and I'm high. And that was a way that hey, whatever, I'm drunk, well, you're a liar. And it was a kind of if we could kind of look at it like that, like addiction being kind of truthful and something that we do to stop faking it, something we do to relieve ourselves of having to like, you know, oh yeah, and my parents smoke weed, but they don't want anyone to know, and they don't tell anyone, and they keep it a secret. And my dad used to be an addict, but he don't talk about it. What it comes down to for me is I don't believe in privacy whatsoever. I don't even believe in the word. I mean, maybe this will change. By the way, things change. I used to not really think I should ever say my opinion, and that's starting to change now during the current climate, you know. So maybe my views on privacy might change one day, but when everything went down in my life and it started having to be a thing where people were talking about me and all my private life and everything, I thought that was bad at first, but it actually worked out to be a true cleanse, meaning getting that there's nothing that was private anymore. Everyone told everything that they could say, and it kind of just took everything out of my closet, and there's nothing left. And what can you do now? And so if we can say that the persona is this front, well then, and addiction is a rebellion from this persona, then what the answer to me not being an addict anymore for me, that's why I don't believe in anonymity. I don't believe in privacy. Maybe somebody could debate me on that. I don't care. I mean, maybe you think there's something in your life that should be private. Now I've been trying to scour my mind for a couple hours thinking about what things should be private. Basically, I boiled down to like, maybe somebody in your family is going through, and to respect their wishes, you don't tell anyone about what they're going through. And I can kind of see maybe how that has some value, but I'm trying to see how any value in privacy. I'm trying to find 1 ounce of value in privacy. I'm trying to find 1 ounce of value in it. one thing that would say, there's this thing in my life that I can't tell anyone, that I don't want people to know about. I can't find any value in that. I can't find out how that's good. And so mainly what it boils down to is like, okay, if we look at all this, then what are we really looking to do? The opposite of a persona is transparency. We're trying to get, and Angie corrected me last week, and she said that people are always heard, but what they really want to be is seen. And so when we speak in a way that's truthful, we get heard no matter what we say. But when we speak in a way that's truthful, we get seen. And I think connection with people has to do with being seen, like the truth of who I am being seen. And to do that, there has to be transparency. We have to be transparent. So if you want to connect with the world, then how else would you do? What would you do it with? Privacy? Is that how you connect with the world? Through privacy? Do you connect with the world through your anonymity? Do you connect the world through your persona? No, we have to get down to like, hey, where's the transparency? This whole thing of parents not telling kids things because they're not ready for it. This whole thing of and then we come to this thing, and I've found out that it's not group coaching. That's not even what this should be. In fact, I should never sit down with families and do group coaching. What I should down and do first is couples therapy. You know, my parents, that was a couple thing. I was 11. They should have worked that shit out. My 11-year-old kid, and I have a lot of respect for my parents and what they did, but I was 11 and I was in this house and you weren't speaking to each other and you didn't know what that was going to do to me. You didn't know what kind of turmoil that's going to put your kid in. You don't know what kind of unease is going to put that kid in that. And I'm not telling you I'm a victim. I'm saying I don't really believe much in trauma either, but I believe in unease. I believe in uncomfortable. I believe in the energy of a house being connected and good or it being shit. And so I believe there is things that everybody must say. Transparency with your thoughts, transparency with your actions. You know, this whole thing about things happening to you and you're not wanting the people to know. Who cares what happened to you? That's not what we want people to know about us. That doesn't matter what happened to us. It's how we handled what happened to us. And in order to show people how we handle what happens to us, we have to tell people what happens to us. Now, if we don't handle it very well and we don't talk about how we handle it, then we'll just hide what happened to us and we don't handle it. It just builds up and you're not handling nothing. So the key to this thing is like, whatever it is, we have to talk about it, confront it. What do we do? This whole, oh man, I used to go to, and I was there. I was 12 years old sitting in the car on the ride to my aunt's where I got told what a piece of shit my aunt was and how messed up my aunt was. And then we walked in the door and we all said hi. What the fuck? What are you doing? What are we doing to kids when we're doing that shit? What are we doing when we're just putting on these fronts and taking a kid, put them in? How confusing. Do you like my aunt or not? Is she good or not? Should I be scared of her or should I be connected to her? Should I love her or should I hate her? Persona. Privacy. What the fuck do you need privacy for? What is it? And I found the only value might be somebody that's really, really rich, not wanting to tell people how much money they got. That might be kind of cool. Other than that, what is it? What is it that you can't say? What is it that you can't say? Something happened? What? There is nothing that you can't talk about. Nothing. That's from the why. Why would you live a life and not want to tell people about it?
Embarrassment, not wanting to look bad.
Yeah, embarrassment. Embarrassment? That's your persona talking to you, thinking that you're so much greater than everyone else. I was 12 years old, or when I was a crackhead, I took my 8-year-old stepson. I was dating a woman. She had a kid. I called him my stepson. He was 8. He got a brand new safe for his birthday. And in the safe, everyone gave him money. So they had a safe full of money, and it was in my garage where on his little shelf, it had about $145 in it. And then he went home to his dad's, and my girlfriend went to work, and I got to work on his little safe. You know, I grabbed that safe, I took it over to Chase Bank, I put it in front of a curb, and I rammed my Tahoe into it, popped that thing open and smoked it all up. You know, do I need privacy, or can I tell you that? That's what I did. I'll tell you a lot of other shit that I've done, and I'll tell you everything that's happened to me. There's nothing I got that's private, nothing. And that's freedom. And what happened when I was 11 years old was they took my freedom away. By not dealing with shit, they took my freedom away. They put me in prison, and they said, well, every day when you go to school, I want you to think about that. I want you to obsess about your family breaking up. I want you to obsess about your parents getting a divorce. Don't go play basketball. Don't enjoy your day. And I will not live that way. And it taught me not to live that way. It taught me to talk to you and to talk to you and to talk to you. And if I got something in here about you, me and you are going to see each other 100% of the time. And we're going to see, and it might even be too aggressive. We're going to see each other and tell, I don't care if you leave, but it's going to get out of here. It's going to get out of here. And if it has to get on you and it has to get wherever, it has to get out of here, because I need to be free and I need to be transparent and I need to say what I need to say. And if I don't, I know how I live. I'm not present. I'm not the truth. And so the way I live is I live all thinking about that shit. And I go try to do what I'm doing, but I can't get through it. I can't sit in a room with somebody that I have a negative thought about and not tell them that I'm sorry. I think if you sit in a room and you have negative thoughts about someone and you're not telling them, you're just full of shit, bullshit, nothing. You ain't shit. So what? At least give them the chance. At least give them the chance to say what they need to say about the topic that you got in your head. Hopefully they'll clear it up. But we're saying it every single week. I'll get you. We're saying it every single week. We're saying confront, win. What war did you go to? What did you get inside of you? Get out today. What did you do? You know, when I was about 24 when I first really got addicted to painkillers. And I got hurt at work, and I went home and I had a bottle of Vicodin. And my girlfriend lived in Redmond at the time. So I went to her house and I popped that bottle of Vicodin, man. I took 4 or 5 of them things and drank a glass of water and then just laid on the couch, and I was feeling so good. And my girlfriend got home from work and she took one and she started getting sick. And she said, I hate these. Mm-hmm. Now I can't understand it. I couldn't understand it for the life of me. I couldn't understand how she didn't like to feel the way I felt. I can't understand how you don't like to feel this way. I also can't understand how people can live with resentments and negative thoughts and keep them inside themselves. I truly don't understand it. I can't understand when somebody says, I need to talk to this person, but we'll do it later. I can't understand how you live that way. I can't understand how you need to say something and you don't say it. How do you live that way? That's fucking excruciating. Sitting there and having a fight in the morning and then having to go to work and then not wanting to talk to the person because you want to be angry and you want to be right and you want to live in your head and you want to just fantasize all day about how they're a piece of shit and you're so excellent. And you live that way, and it's just a miserable way to live. And I don't understand, just like I don't understand how people can't like pain pills, I also don't understand how somebody can need to talk and not talk. I don't get it. I don't get why. And then it all boils down to like, well, maybe you think you're a nice person and you want to rather be portrayed as a nice person. Or maybe you'd rather like be non-confrontational. Or maybe, or maybe you're just bottom line scared. Maybe you never felt the power that I felt at 11 years old to make a difference. And so maybe you don't know. Maybe you don't know that words are the only thing that make a difference. That's it. That talking is the only thing that changes how we feel. We don't get to just not talk about things and then change how we feel. It doesn't work that way. We got to get out words. We have to say things to people. We have to say things that shake up the foundation of the relationship. We have to risk it. We have to say risky things to people sometimes. Hey, I'm going to say this. And I'm not going to preface it with how much I love you. That bullshit we hear around here.
I love you, bud.
Yeah. Hey, man, you know I think so highly of you. You know I think you're awesome. You know I love you. And now I'm about to fucking thrash you around. Why not just thrash them around? What are we, that goddamn weak? sticks and stones. We don't remember that. And then I have to change my thing on opinion because, you know, back in the day, I said to help people, I can't have an opinion, and I don't know anymore. I said that during COVID, because of COVID, at the beginning of COVID, we didn't have any facts. We just had everybody's opinion at COVID. And, you know, if you said anything, you were just, either way, you were crazy. But if you had an opinion about politics, then some family wouldn't come to me for help or whatever. But at the point, but I can't be the truth that way. If I don't say what I have to say, if I don't sit here and say, I think this is ridiculous and this is ridiculous and this is all crazy, I got to get it out of me. So I think the opposite of what this thing is with addiction, being stuffed up, being like full of shit, being clogged up with resentment and clogged up with needing to talk and then not talking and doing all that, and then resulting in some drug use that actually is like a pinhole in the balloon that finally just goes psh, lets all that shit out that you've been holding inside of you. The opposite of that is like, look, go ahead, see me. I'm as transparent as they can come. I'm hoping, and I hope I can get more of it. And I can hope you see right through me, because if you can see right through me, then there's no fraudulence. It's just right there. It's just everything I got right there laid out. You know, I want to leave it all here. I'm going to leave everything. When I'm done here with this life, there's just going to be a puddle of me. I'm going to leave it all on the floor, and I'm going to say everything, and I'm not going to be there wishing I would have said something to somebody. It ain't going to work that way. And I think your recovery, if you're here and you're not talking, good luck. Good luck, man. If you're not saying shit, to the point, if you're not getting transparent so that you can be seen, good luck. Now that what you're doing is you're just piling more shit on top of shit until the point you got to go get that release again. It ain't going to work, man. Everyone's talking about living their best life, living the truth. Wow. Everyone's talking about that. I always hear, I'm living my best life. I'm living the truth. Hey, don't tell so-and-so I said this. You know what it's like to live your best life and live the truth? People don't like it. They might not like it. They might not do business with you. They might not fucking do anything with you. They might talk shit behind your back. Living your best life and telling the truth, it's brutal. It ain't easy. Now, I'm not there yet. If I was there yet, I would say the work's over, but I'm not. I say there's I don't know how many more levels there is to being transparent, but I know I probably got a lot more in them that I haven't even seen what I'm hiding right now. I don't know. I don't feel like I am, but I might be. I'm going to keep digging. I'm going to keep talking, and I'm going to keep saying things until there's nothing left. Just leave it all. And right now with families, I can feel it, man. I can feel people's resentments. I can feel people's silent treatments. I can feel people not getting involved, not getting in the game. I can feel people just lying to each other and saying everything's great. I can feel it. How hard a work is it just to start talking? I can feel people on their opinions about politics and COVID and this whole thing. We shouldn't talk about religion, politics, and who says that? What do you talk about? We should only talk about small talk. We should talk small talk, the weather. What else would you talk about? Religion, politics. These are the meat of life. Philosophy, free will, whether we have it or not. What do you talk about if you don't talk about politics, religion, philosophy, love? Oh, we talk about bullshit. Everything we talk about as a family is 100% complete bullshit. We don't talk about the past. We don't bring that up. We don't bring up resentments. We don't bring up religion, politics. Oh, what do you talk about? What we had for dinner. And then everyone goes, oh, that was great. Bye. And then why do I hate going? Because we don't talk about religion. We don't talk about politics. We don't talk about the past. We don't talk about resentments. I would love to go to family shit if we got down like that. Let's go. My family, we get together and we battle. Let's do that. That sounds a lot better than the bullshit, small talk, nothing. We don't tell them our kid's an addict. Don't tell Aunt Cindy, she'll judge me. Shit. Why? What did you do? Did you put the drugs in him? We don't tell them our kid's struggling. They call and they ask, how's our kid doing? We say, fine. Then your cousins all hate each other. I hated every one of my cousins. Every time. Did you hear what your cousin so-and-so is doing? He's graduated from North Dakota State. He's going to be a doctor. Fuck him. Then what I waited for was the good news. Did you hear your cousin's gay? And the family's in an uproar. And I'm like, yes. And now me and him can be friends. Now he's cool. Hated the dude. But I loved it that everyone in his family was pissed that he was gay. I was like, let's go have some beers. My family hates me too. We're all liars. That's what it was. My cousin was like, damn, he became my friend after that. You know, but before it was all, they only tell us the good things our cousins are doing. Why aren't you more like cousin dipshit? I don't know. Shit. I'm at the family reunion. My parents are like, they're telling me, it was right here down at the park, my big old family reunion. They're telling me, try not to act like a drug addict today. Oh. Well, shit. I'll be back stealing Aunt Joan's purse. And I did. I was like, Mom, have them leave all their purses in the spare bedroom.
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
That's a great idea.
Whoa.
When I worked at the YMCA, the ladies that would come in to swim would all leave their purses at the
Yes.
front desk where I'm working.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
you got me well a few times.
Yeah. All right, trying to act like a drug addict. Well, I'm 128 pounds.
Oh, no.
I just got done smoking crack. And you want me to come down to the family reunion, not act like a drug addict. All right.
All right.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah. You think they'll know, Mom and Dad? No, they won't know.
You can't hear nothing. Your ears are ringing.
And we all, with these personas, everyone thinks they're hiding something. Haven't we figured out as human beings that nobody's hiding anything yet? We haven't figured that out. See, we learn around here that maybe you'll learn around here once and for all that none of your life is private, that nothing you do here has any privacy, and that privacy has no value. Show me the value in privacy. Somebody just show me. Show me how privacy pays off. Another thing you could try to show me is, show me how privacy ends. It always ends in the elimination of the privacy. It always ends in the story coming out. Always ends in the truth.
Exposure.
In an exposure. That's how privacy ends. Or worse than it ending in exposure, it ends in privacy. That's worse. A family secret that stays a secret and goes to the grave is worse than it being exposed. Living that way is worse. Killing someone and getting caught and going to prison is better than killing somebody and getting away with it and living your life that way. That is a terrible way to live. Why do you want privacy? You want privacy possibly because what you've done, you can't stand behind. You don't stand for it. You don't stand behind it. And so you want to be private because you don't want people to know that it doesn't line up with your persona. That your persona that you're presenting to the world is that I am all this, and so I want to keep this private because I don't want anyone to know that I'm this. How ridiculous. One, they already know. Two, who cares? Do you stand behind what you've done? Yes, then you need to actually confront that. You need to actually get in a position to talk about that. Even if you don't stand behind what you've done, Maybe you could admit what you've done is wrong. That would be good. You could just say, I did this in my life and it wasn't me. I don't know why I did it. I don't know what happened. I didn't have control of myself. I did this mistake. Fine. But there is no value in keeping that private. And imagine that. We've become a society of people that has privacy with their family members. That we can't even feel comfortable telling our brother, our sister, our aunt, our cousins. And now we've become so isolated that the privacy that we speak of isn't, we're telling people, other people, we're telling coworkers our shit. We're telling other people. We want privacy from our own family members. We want to make sure they don't know that we're full of shit when they know we're full of shit. Hey, I'll tell you guys, a room of perfect strangers, but none of you tell my brother, okay? Don't let him know. Anonymity. Alcoholics Anonymous. Anonymous. A church basement full of 100 people that all can see our face. And we're saying anonymous shit. I want no one to know what I'm saying. Well, you just told 100 drunks in a basement. Pretty big problem. Yeah.
So something that my sister told me when I got sent away to wilderness was that if I am doing something that I feel like I can't tell her, that I shouldn't be doing it.
That's right.
Because I feel like I can tell my sister everything.
That's right.
So, like, if you have somebody in your life that you feel like you can't tell everything, and then you're doing something and you realize that maybe you wouldn't want to tell them that, maybe stop.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. This whole idea of drug addiction and coming out of it, not needing the light shined on it, not needing to go from dark. That's where we're coming from. We're coming from darkness, lies, secrets, all that stuff that we're coming from, that stuff that life that we came from, to a light of lightness, transparency, awareness. That's the path. So I think I look back and I can't tell you my parents wrong or right or what happened. I can just say that there wasn't complete transparency. And when there's not that as a kid, imagine that. Imagine the beginning of my lack of integrity. Imagine, and what I call a lack of integrity is called integration, or it means to be one, to kind of be one way. To be integrated, it means to be one way, whole and complete, just one, not 10 different versions of art. And imagine the first separation of art, the first different version that I came up with was the one that didn't swear in front of my parents. That's the first time I had to be someone I'm not. I got to go to school and you had to figure out who you could swear in front of and who you couldn't. I mean, how insane is that? I mean, that's just the start of the insanity. And then I have to see which teacher I could be myself in front of and which one I had to fake it. And then I had to see which aunt I could be myself in front of and which one I can fake it. And then I had to see which cousin I could say I'm doing good in front of, and then which cousin I had to tell I'm doing bad. And then I had to be a fake from the start. I had to be. Not only did I have to be, I was told to be. That's crazy. And then we wonder why we have to do all this work of being honest. How do we have to re-engineer this thing and go from this dishonest 10 different versions of ourselves because we were told to be? We were told that our aunt was a liar or whatever she was. We're riding in the car and then they told you, but when we get there, act like you like her. Be nice to her. Go give your aunt a kiss. I used to have to stand in front of my grandma and let her, oh my God, my grandma used to do the thing where she licked her hand and then did my hair and I could smell her breath on my, she used her spit as my hair gel. Oh, I wasn't supposed to say, Grandma, your breath stinks. I'm supposed to be nice right there, Jeez, I could still smell it. You know? Who does that? And then she would pinch my cheeks, you know, stand in front of me. What? Grandma. You know, F you. What if I could have said that? I could have just remained the truth. Just say what you're thinking, Art. My nephew had a great one. My sister was, and this is before he had to start lying. They were at QFC, and he was begging her to get him some candy or something. And she's like, no, you're not getting that candy or whatever. And then he was like 8, and he looked at my sister and he goes, why? Do you need more money for beer? Right there. All you buy at the store is beer, Mom. Yeah.
Nice.
Truth.
Nice.
Truth. You know, so we come on and we go we start transparent. We get to be a kid and we get to be transparent. And then the world tells us, don't be. That's crazy. The world tells us to stop saying what we think. The world tells us to start lying. The world tells us to start putting on a fake. And I think that started, and then it went on until I was like 13. And then I got 13 and I got drunk. And I got drunk and I didn't fake it that night. I didn't even have to. I didn't have to watch what I say. I didn't have to watch who I offended. I didn't have to like play nice with anybody. And I'm a 13-year-old and I got drunk. And I liked it. And then that's what I did. To have to put that persona away, I only had one way. I just used. And then you get back on and you try to stay sober, but somebody says, go back to faking it. Make sure you play nice. Don't confront people. Don't say mean things. Watch what you think. Don't think bad thoughts. And if you think bad thoughts, try to not tell people. Just, act like you like them when you don't. Get along. Go to work. If you don't like your boss, just go there. Just go there. Don't try to change it. Be one of the get along crew. I think that's it. People say you need to find purpose or whatever. I don't know, man. You gotta find transparency. You gotta find freedom. I don't know about purpose, but I know that I gotta be free. And if I don't say words to people, my freedom is taken. All right.
This is such a good topic.
I think privacy is a big problem. It's a big problem for all of you in this room. And I don't know what private life you would like to have. I don't know what it would be that you're doing that you'd like to keep private. I've never seen anyone keep that they got their master's degree private. I've never seen a doctor go, please, keeping that private. Call me Mike. They're always like, it's Dr. Mike.
You call Dr. Mister.
Yeah.
Yes. The other way around.
Yeah. You're like, yeah.
The first time I remember, I'm sure they're going before that, but like the first time I can really remember hiding something, right? Was I lived down the road from the high school. Instead of just taking a quick bus ride home, I'd walk with my friend, so I could smoke a cigarette.
Yeah.
And I'd get home before my mom did and be in the bathroom and be brushing my teeth, washing my face, washing my whole body in the sink so she wouldn't smell the cigarette smoke on me at all. She knew I was smoking, but.
And that's the thing is like, what kind of wedge starts forming between you and your mother?
Yeah, that's when it started. Yeah. That's when it started.
There's a wedge, and the wedge says, you can lie to me. I know you're lying. You know you're lying.
Yeah.
But I'd rather it look like that you don't smoke.
That's right.
Than for you just to tell me the truth, because for some reason it seems better to outside world. Yeah. So between her and you, it was like an agreement. Hey, lie to each other because I don't want to tell my friends that I let you smoke.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what it is. I wouldn't want my friends thinking that I let you smoke. So you need to lie to me and go in this bathroom and wash up. I don't know what good it does till they're again trying to find value in privacy again. I'll never see it. I never find value in not saying everything. I've had too much evidence that truthfulness that it pays off tremendously. Truthfulness is the best investment we can make with people. Yeah, some might go away. But the ones that stay, you got something. You know.
When you are lying and trying to hide something, and then people find out, it makes it that much worse.
Oh, it's terrible.
Shit, you know.
It's terrible.
I mean, it eats you alive too, like knowing, oh, somebody could find this out.
Yeah.
I mean, even lying by omission.
Again, privacy. Please respect our privacy. We have a family member. Okay. Physical privacy. I don't want people walking into the bathroom when I'm trying to go number 2. You know? I like that kind of privacy. Huh? Maybe it would be funner. Maybe it'd be free. Come on in.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Yeah, let's talk.
That's how we're on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have a seat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Competition shitty.
I don't know.
In France, they have outdoor urinals that are like a bush. Oh my god.
You know, I can't say a bigger detriment to addiction and alcoholism. I can't find a bigger enemy other than secrets. I can't find a bigger enemy. It's crazy. Like, I cannot find a bigger enemy than secrecy. Anonymous. Stand up for yourself. Stand up for anything that you've done. You stand up or apologize. It's got to be one of the two. Which are you going to do? Keep it a secret? Not tell people? How would you live that way? You know, I don't even know. If we have senators that are alcoholics and they want to be able to have anonymity and not be told that they're alcoholics, do we want that as a society? Why? Either he made a mistake and he's owning up to it and apologizing for it, and we've accepted that, and he's standing up for himself. Maybe he wants to worried about that he might drink again. Well, we don't want that in office. Why? So again, if anyone can find value in it, please tell me. And if you can't find any value in it, then what have you done to start getting transparent? What work are you doing on a daily basis to try to get there? I have to do it daily. God, it takes a conversation with someone every day. It's a constant clearing. There's always something here that's holding on right here that I need to talk to someone about. And if I don't, then I'm not free and I'm not transparent. And I don't sit in a room with people that I need to talk to and not talk because of what? I always love this. We'll talk later. What is the delay? What is more important than that? There's always this bullshit delay. We don't need to talk about it right now. When then? I've had in my sobriety over 11 years, I've had about 300 people telling me we don't need to talk about it right now. I'm 300 for 300. We talked about it right now. I still haven't let nobody go. No, we talking. You're not doing that to me.
What was the time where you were telling Angie that when she got on a plane or something?
Oh, that was just a joke.
Yeah, I know.
I told Angie that we have a lot to be worried about.
Oh my god.
And then I told her I'll tell her more when I get off the airplane. I just texted her to fuck with her. I said there's a few things we need to be worried about. I'll let you know when I land. There wasn't nothing. Just the word. How many times you get that text? We need to talk. It's the worst.
I can remember a few times just early on when Art and I began working together where I'd be like done with the conversation. I'm like, I'm done talking about this. Click.
Yeah.
He'd be calling me. He's like, nope. We're talking about this right now.
She would hang up on me and say, don't talk to me this way or whatever, because she wasn't used to somebody this aggressive or whatever it is. So I would
not hang up on you. I would let you know I'm hanging up right now because I'm done
Yeah.
talking about this
She would hang up and say she's done.
until you're nicer.
Yes, and then I would text back something kind of like apologetic to try to lure her back. It wasn't that I was apologizing because, by the way, she was wrong, but it was like it was that I just went too hard at it, and I was going to pull back and then package it different,
And it worked.
and it worked. Yeah, you know, you got when somebody's that wrong, you have to let them know. You know what I mean? You can't just go on with your day. So it'll eat you alive. No, I don't even remember what it was.
No, I've just never been used to talking about stuff right now. And so, yeah, you're right. I was not used to being to somebody so aggressive and ready to talk right now.
See, you got to be very careful because people handle resentments in one of two ways. And you need to be very careful in this. And by a resentment, I mean a complaint about another human being or a complaint about an interaction you had with another human being. So people handle it in one of two ways. And some people are paralyzed by when this happens. So some people, when they have a interaction or a resentment against somebody, they obsess about it. I'm one of those people. So if me and you have a bad interaction, I don't move on. I don't move on with my day. I don't enjoy my day. Nothing. I am 100% paralyzed by that interaction until I speak with the person. That's how I am. And that was probably from back when I was a kid. And some people are fueled by resentment. So if you have maybe a wife, one example is that wife that you've pissed off, and then you hear the dishes clinging around angrily and violent vacuuming and that kind of thing. That's somebody that's fueled by resentment, and they want to move, and they say they don't want to talk, and then they want to go through their day and do things, but you can tell they're pissed as they do everything.
They're just thinking about it.
They're thinking about it. And that's some type of people. So some people use resentment as fuel. It's a drug. So some people, it's a drug. And if you're pissed off at the world, you can be high. And you're high on how righteous you are. You're right. You're righteous. Other people are wrong. And that gets you high. The righteousness gets you high. Being a victim gets people high. So people like it. And they want, and when those people, when you say, let's talk, they won't want to talk. Because they know if you talk, they're going to give up their righteousness. They're gonna have to let that go. And they don't want to let it go. They're not ready. They want to stay high. I think anger is one of the biggest drugs that we have. And it can really keep the focus off you, make you feel different, keeps the focus off you, makes you feel different, makes you feel obsessed with something, changes your mind frame, changes the emotional chemical of your body. What does that sound like? Anger is a drug. It's drug use, and people aren't ready to stop using sometimes. I'm always ready to stop using. When I'm angry, I find no use in it, and I want it out now. I want to be done with it. I want to be cleared up. But some people just take resentments as like lily pads. They'll stay on one until they find another one. And they just hop from resentment to resentment to resentment to resentment. And you know these people, all you have to do is ask them who they're currently pissed off at. And they'll tell you. And they don't want to talk because that's how they want to live. Because they're high. Sad. Sad. And lucky as a kid, I got that feeling of that. And I didn't want it inside of me. So for me, being paralyzed by resentment it's a good thing for me. I'm glad that I am. Because I can't stay mad at you, and I can't stay mad at you, and I never want to go stay mad at someone. That's the worst. And people have a remarkable ability to stay mad. That's crazy. Do we have questions, Ange?
Let's open it up. I'm I'm going to raise my hand. There's a raise your hand feature on your device. If you can't figure it out, just unmute yourself. Get my attention somehow. We welcome any comments, any questions, anything you relate to. I loved your analogy of the lily pads. I want to say that. I love when there's a visual like that, the lily pads. That's awesome. I'll always remember that now.
I remember
Lily
Christine Valala, who's a great member of, or great Battlefield family, the whole Valala family is, but they came to their original coaching or whatever, and for whatever reason, they didn't tell me what they thought of me or whatever, but they thought I swore too much and I was too vulgar or whatever it was. And finally, about 2 years later, I think, I ran into her at the Little Creek Casino, and she was upstairs playing the slot machines, and there we were, you know, and she then finally confronted me and said, well, I haven't really talked to you because, you know, you kind of put us off at the thing and told us how, and you were very vulgar and you swore too much or whatever. And I said, oh, okay. And now we've been together ever since. They've been part of this thing ever since, but she just had to tell me. Now I just kind of try to not swear around Christine. But then the next time I saw him, me and the entire family, including Tyler's grandparents and Tyler and all of us, we went out to breakfast at the Little Creek and hung out and gambled together. And so I was on my best behavior. I barely swore at all, I think.
Hey, Lynn has a question. Let's put you on spotlight, Lynn, and unmute you. So Lynn just said, how do you deal with someone who uses anger as their drug? Hi, Lynn. Hi, Tony.
Hi.
That's your question? How do you?
Yeah.
You know, it's tough. It's tough. You know, it's tough trying to, you let them get it out, I guess. I've had to deal with that. You know, I'm aggressive with it, so I'm probably different than most people. I don't let people, when I think somebody's angry with me, I work my ass off to make it go away. I have almost the same experience as being angry with somebody. I think I have a worse experience that when I think somebody's angry with me. That's worse. I think it's worse than me being angry with someone else. So when I think someone's angry with me, I really try to find out why, and I try to get it cleared up. My sister, and I hope she'll watch and she'll be mad at me after this. But my sister Shelly, she can use anger a little bit. She was mad at me and for a week, and she didn't talk to me, and I didn't do a very good job. And then she seen me Christmas Eve, and she was giving me the silent treatment, and I felt it. I didn't know she was mad at me. She was been mad at me for a while, but she was giving me the silent treatment, and I felt it. And I said, we're talking. And she goes, we're not going to talk here tonight. And I said, no, we have to. And I I'm begging you to talk to me. And it didn't go well, but you know, we've continued to talk, and our relationship has gotten way better, but I had to see she's mad at me. So I don't like that. I don't like it when someone's mad at me. If someone's mad at me on here, I want to know. I want to talk. I want to see what I've done. So I think that's how is an investigation, you know, and then after, you can't tell them that they use anger as a drug. You just got to know that, and then kind of see that that's what they're using, and they'll use you to, you know, get high on. Yeah.
Perfect example is like the couple days, like when you and Zach were arguing, you know what I mean? And then like I couldn't think of a more perfect example when you were arguing, and then Zach was like, "You're bullshit."
Yeah.
And then you guys figured it out.
We both probably we're both the type of guys that didn't want to go through our day not feeling comfortable with each other.
Not understanding, yeah.
Yeah, we didn't. And so Zach and he got into it, and he was angry with me. And I don't like it when people are angry with me. And I knew he was angry with me. But then right away after the talk, he apologized and said, hey, I didn't mean what I said. And I said, I'm sorry. And it was great. And that's what relationship stuff is. That's what it is. It's this, if you want to be happy in your relationships, there's just one thing that you have to do. And that's just give up being right. That's it. You just got to give up being right. And if you can give up being right, then you can at least go to this person that deals with anger as a drug. And you can say, listen, I don't want to be angry. I don't want you angry with me. I don't want this. You know, and hopefully then maybe they can go on to solution group and see that they're getting high on it. And hopefully people can learn that anger is a drug, you know, and it's a real good one too, because, you know, anger protects you from responsibility. Drugs don't protect you from responsibility. So that's the remarkable thing about anger as a good drug, man, because when you're angry, nothing's your fault. That's pretty cool. That's a pretty good drug. Oh. Dogs are barking inside. Does that answer it, Lynn?
Oh, you're still, you're muted again. Let's get you unmuted.
Yeah, it kind of did. It's, I wish the person that I'm talking about could come on here and watch what you're having to say.
Yeah, well, that's where it gets tricky. And I'm going to give this spiel again. Responsibility for the relationship. What it means is that you would want it fixed. Now, if you say, well, I want it fixed with this person, and then you tell me, and this person's angry, well, what's your job? Your job is to see why they're angry. And that's the work. And so the spiel that I always give is, when I give these talks, people the first level of these talks are that I'm interesting. And that's what everyone says. They go, this guy's funny, he's interesting, he's entertaining. The second thing that the second level of this is people get to the point where they go, he's interesting and my family members all need this.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be here. And then the third level is I might need this. I might need to hear what he's saying and I might need to make a change. And then the fourth level is, because I've made that change, my family members don't need this. I actually am learning how to manage my family relationships and take responsibility for them. I don't really want my sisters to come on here because it's a time where I tell everything. So I don't like that they don't like that yet. But I think that it's better. But for me, I feel responsible for the relationship with my sisters. So no matter what it is, if they're angry with me, I've done something wrong. And if I want the relation to be fixed, if I want it to be better, then I've done something wrong. And that just, if you're angry with someone, can you imagine that you're angry with someone and then you say something like, well, I'm just deflecting. They've done nothing wrong. I'm just angry with them. No, when we're angry with someone, from our perspective, they've done something wrong. And if we want to relieve a person of the anger, we have to see what we did wrong. And one, we better have an explanation for it. Or two, we better have an apology for it. There better be something that makes sense there.
And this isn't always like with parents that have, you know, or anybody that has somebody in active addiction, like it doesn't really apply all the way.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we got to like keep that in perspective.
Yeah, well, we always state that. If you're trying to deal with somebody who's using drugs, then no, this stuff doesn't translate. You just get them into treatment. But yeah, I think that we'd have to see why. I mean, either they're delusional,
Mm-hmm.
we've done something. And a lot of times, you know, we got to figure that out. Yeah.
Yeah. I was just going to say that it just leads back to what we talked about before, about these different positions in the relationship that we find ourselves. And in the second position, which we call the initiator, is a position in which the whole focus in the relationship is on your behavior and how you are. So there's a question there that says, okay, are they mad at you, or are they deflecting the anger at themselves, blah, blah, blah. The point is first part, are they mad at you? So whether or not they're deflecting doesn't matter. What matters is the fact we're in this position to which we are more concerned with how we are compared with how they are. So the question at that point is you coming to them, like Art just said, and they're mad at you for a reason. So it's about taking a look at yourself. Now, I even say, even if we're dealing with an addict, yeah, the delusion may be possible, but if we ever get into a position where we want to use the excuse, well, they're on drugs, so what they say is no longer valid, that is not a way of change. That is not a way in which we're going to be able to be different. Yeah. So even if it's just somewhere that's using, wherever this feedback is coming from an addict, from somebody who just got clean, no matter where this feedback is coming from, you still have to be in a position to take this feedback, no matter where it's at. How am I behaving? How was I behaving? What they're saying is very possibly correct, and I need to be better.
Well, just the idea of, so I mean, this is Julie Moulton's question. She's saying how they matter deflecting, and just that idea that you would go to that place where you would think that. You know, can you imagine if you were angry with someone and they just go, "You're just deflecting"? Can you imagine being on the other end of that? Hey, I'm very angry with you. You're just deflecting. You're angry with yourself. Whoa. Dude, how would that, now I'm more pissed. Yeah. You know? So, and just deflecting, you're just deflecting. There's some blame there. You're blaming the other person. So the important part is that we're not trying to figure out who's right and wrong in the situation. We're trying to fix the situation. So that's the important part to remember. When you're responsible for the relationship, that doesn't mean that you're trying to figure out who's right. You're not the judge of the relationship. You're the person that's trying to fix it. Remember that. To be responsible for the relationship means I'm the person that's trying to fix it. I want it fixed. I want the relationship. I don't want to walk away from it. I want to fix it. Now, I have a lot of relationships, and there's some I've walked away. There's times where I've walked away from the relationship where I don't think it, I don't want it, but I have to let that be. I can let it be. I'm free of it. And if I am, then I let it be. But if I'm not, then I still got to go back.
Gotta handle it.
But yeah, I think whether they're deflecting it or not, like Kyle said, is irrelevant.
That's such a good distinction. Yeah, that's just so good. That would be worth playing back and listening to that again. Very good.
If you're committed to your relationships and you're committed to your family, the idea of fixing it and staying until we fix it. We're going to fix it. We're going to stay till we fix it. And we're going to talk until there's nothing left to say. And if that doesn't work, then we'll meet back here tomorrow and we'll talk until there's nothing to say. And, you know, I'm going to become a better person due to this process, and so are you. And now if one party's committed to that, that's enough.
Yes.
If two parties are committed, it's great, but it's not necessary. And why it's not necessary is because just think, if you're committed to the relationship, then you at what point do you refrain from the truth with individuals? That's a good question. At what point do you refrain from the truth with individuals at the expense of a loved one in treatment? You know, that's a whole negotiation. That's a whole negotiation. And, you know, there's some people that are still embarrassed by being in treatment. There's people that don't want people to know. There's all kinds of reasons.
It's like, what are they going to lose? And like, is that going to help them or hurt them?
Yeah. Yeah. And so, you know, I just, again, I'll just say this. I've found no value in privacy. So to anyone who wants their life private, why? Why? Because you're worried how your persona looks. And letting it all out there and letting people see you. You know, no one has ever really thinks about drug addicts and treatment as a bad thing.
Right.
They don't. I mean, it really, you know, I often sit around the poker table and somebody mentions heroin or they mention addiction. And I always have the same comment. Somebody goes, somebody says, oh, you hear these and then I go, have you ever tried heroin? And they're like, no. And I'm like, you should definitely do it. And I'm like, and I think that's might be funny, but it's like, what are you talking about? Like,
Yeah.
like, like heroin it's great.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, but it's like that transparent, like, listen, I loved it. I can't do it anymore. I tried to like do it regularly and it didn't work, so I don't do that anymore. But I tell people I love it because I've loved everything that it's done for my life. And I wouldn't be who I am without it. And it's not what I did. I apologize for anyone I've hurt. I've already done that, but I stand behind everything that I've ever done. I stand behind it, and I don't need to tell you that I didn't do it. And I don't need to tell you that I didn't love heroin. I loved it. It was one of my favorite things ever. And I loved crack cocaine. It was awesome. And I can stand behind that. And, so somebody's sitting there going, how dare you say that about heroin? It's a bad thing. Yeah, that's your persona. You would learn that if you got into treatment. Like, you should go to treatment, even though you've never done drugs. You should go and learn something because you're fake and you're talking about shit you don't even know anything about. And so I'm at the poker table being who I am here too. It's no different. It's like, there's no, I can't live another way just for my own thing.
It's an awesome way to look at it too, because there's a lot of people that are out there that are beating themselves up over being heroin addicts or being who they are. But you know what I mean? The instant that you get clean, like you said, heroin is what.
That's right.
What
That's
makes
right.
it pretty much. You know what I mean?
Listen, and I'm seeing this stuff about telling people that are in treatment. Look at, that's a small minor detail in life that, again, I said the value in privacy, and I said this at the beginning. If somebody in your family is going through something and they really at their time are not ready for you to tell anyone, then I think don't.
No, but that's not what the second question is.
What about the people that are tired, that are
Tied to the one in treatment, confronting them, is that the discretion of the
Oh.
person in treatment, or is it harmful?
Yeah, I mean, I would just say to anyone who is telling other people's business, I mean, that's the thing. When I'm talking about transparency, I'm not talking that means I got to tell everyone's business around me. It means I tell my business. I tell all my business. And I tell you what my thoughts are about you because I think that's your business. And so that's what I mean. But it doesn't mean that I run around and say, hey, did you hear Kyle loves men? Like, I don't all that yet, Oh, oops, sorry. No,
If you're being a person who's working, doing this thing, working this program,
Yeah.
that we're working,
Yeah.
right? If at this point, I consider myself, working a program treatment,
Right.
I'm 3 years clean and sober, and I still work in treatment. I'm still doing my own treatment. I have no problem if anybody else even talks about my business to anybody else at
Right.
this point. You know what I mean?
Me neither.
Yeah. If I talk, I love men. I don't care if he wants to talk.
Yeah.
I love it. You know what I mean?
Yes. No, and I think you just let it.
I love women, by the way.
Again, if there's people that are doing this, that's between the person that's in treatment and the people that are doing it, the people that are talking about him. I mean, or her. It doesn't matter, But again, I want to always put people back into perspective here. Hopefully, this here is about the changes that you need to make, and that's the purpose of being here. It's like, what the message that I'm trying to give through is, what about the transparency in your life? How many things do you keep private that you might not want to keep private about you? What are you hiding? So, and what are the thoughts about your family members? Now, again, maybe you have thoughts about these people that are talking about the person that's talking about the person. I mean, maybe you have thoughts of them, and maybe that's how you deal with it. Maybe you call those people and go, I got some thoughts here. Hey, our loved one is in treatment, and you continue to, he doesn't want people to know, and you continue to tell people. I just have to tell you that bothers me, and I just had to get it off my chest. I'm not saying that, hey, listen, I'm just telling you that it bothers me. and maybe we could talk about it. Now, if that kind of conversation gets you a lot of backlash, then you would have to look at the relationship prior to that. If you're not able to call somebody, I have a good relationship with a lot of people. So if I call people right now and go, hey, I just want to call you and I'll let you know that what you're doing kind of upsets me. Now, what if I got a bunch of backlash because of a conversation that way? Well, that would mean that the relationship already had a bunch of bullshit in it that I haven't dealt with. So maybe you need to start with the bullshit beyond the bullshit. Maybe there's such deep bullshit that, yeah, of course, you can't even call someone and say, hey, don't do that, because you got no equity left. They don't listen to it. Yeah, they don't listen to you. So you don't have the power to say, hey, stop doing that, please. And that's why is that? Well, that's because of the deep stuff that's happened before that you never talked about. And so there's not just one layer here. You have to look at, to be responsible for a relationship, you have to look at all the conduct that you've done for the entire relationship. And you have to look at all the conduct you've done from the entire relationship from their shoes. Stop telling me your perspective. I used to get in a fight and stop. Everyone wants to explain their perspective. Nobody gives a shit about your perspective. They don't. And you have to have a tremendous value in the relationship and tremendous credibility to explain your perspective and have the person listen. That's leadership. Somebody that will actually listen to your perspective, take on your perspective at the loss of their own, because they have faith in you as a leader. That's a tough place to get to. So you have to see that if you're explaining your perspective to your family members, they don't care. Whose perspective do you care about? Which family member comes to you and goes, I want to explain my perspective and the way I saw it. And then you go, oh, I want to listen. It's not how it works. What works is, let me hear your perspective. Let me see why you feel how you feel. Let me look. I want you to change my perspective. I want you to give me yours so that I can be relieved of this anger that I have for you. And then they do. And then you're relieved. But why are we doing it? You know, who cares? Who cares unless it's a purpose of your own transparency? Unless you got something inside you that you got to get out. That's what you're doing. That's the whole origin of this thing. There's something inside of me that I can't leave alone. I'm trying to cook dinner, but I keep thinking about it. Okay, I got to do something. I got to talk. Words are going to change how I feel. That's honesty too. Oh, I can leave this. Oh, I had a fleeting thought that this person isn't. That went away. Now I'm back to cooking dinner. All right, leave it. But this is the rotting of who we are. If you're not transparent, then what are you? What's in there that's rotting you away, that you're hiding? What are you not saying that's rotting you away? Just think transparent. Doesn't that seem so light? Yeah. Seems so light. Hasn't that always been the deal? Aren't we here to travel lighter? Stop traveling so heavy with everyone.
There's relief in it.
Yeah, we had a family reunion here, or a birthday party this year. It was great. It was great. I have never been close enough with my extended family to have resentments. So, yeah. You know what I mean? So it was just joyful. You know, you know, it was nice. It was light. It was great. So that's what this really is. Your transparency comes through. Yeah, okay. I need to explain my thoughts, but I can't explain them righteously. Remember, I told you that with the way me and Ange talked, that wasn't how we got things done. Because the way that we talked when it wasn't going too well was I was very aggressive and I was very accusatory and I was kind of dominating her. And then the way that we got things done was when I stopped all that. And I would call back calm and I would ask questions and I would lead her in a different way. And I would say, I'm sorry for being all hyped up and aggressive. And we would always get things done. That's why we had a great working relationship for 7 years. And for the first one, we had talks. For the last 6, we never had to talk about anything. Not once. Nothing to clear up. No resentments, nothing. Because we did the work in the first year. We held nothing. Okay, any more questions before we close up?
Well, I just
Those are
want to
great.
put it, yeah, they were great. And I have in the chat, I'm going to hit submit here. It's just a reminder, group coaching next session is March 9th. And group coaching is an opportunity for this type of interaction. So I highly recommend get registered early. There is no cost, but there is limited seating. So there's the link for that. And then just a reminder again about Run for Recovery, because some people got on a little late tonight. And so I just want to make sure everybody has the information. So our Run for Recovery is going to be live. No more COVID getting in our way. So we're super excited to have this huge live event. It's going to be Saturday, May 7th. We are going to officially launch this, meaning registration going live, social media, promoting it, blowing things up, and getting registrations for this on the first day of spring, which is Sunday, March 20th. And Katie Jones sent me a text asking, it was a great question. I'm glad she asked. She asked me if she would want to invite people that are out of state. Yes, this is going to be a live event, but we're going to have a virtual option as well for long distance people. So absolutely. And I am looking for a minimum of 10 people. So like a solid 10 people, but really I'm going to be asking every single person to share and send a message out to all of your friends, emails. I'm creating a template, some suggestive information, and you can tweak it and customize it, make it your own and use it, or you can do it completely on your own words. You don't have to use mine, but I am working on a template to make it easy for a copy paste thing with all the details. And I'm looking for 10 solid people to commit to spending 1 hour on launch day. And that is sending out those of you who have large contact lists. Maybe you work somewhere where you have lots of friends, you're highly connected, you know, in whatever way, you're part of clubs, whatever. I'm looking for people to send out an email to all of your friends because we want to reach wide. We don't want just our Battlefield family there at that event, although we want all of you there because it's a great Battlefield family day. But we want to reach beyond Battlefield and pull other people in. It is a run or walk for recovery. I'll be walking, but walk or run for recovery. It's a 5K, Saturday, May 7th. I believe we've decided it'll be a 10 a.m. start time, but all those details are coming out by March 20th. But right now I'm just looking for 10 solid people to be I need to come up with a fun name. Tomorrow during Mom's group, we will come up with a fun name for this team of a solid 10 people that will absolutely commit to sitting down for an hour, shooting out messages to all your big contact lists, but really we'll be looking for more than that. But March 20th, launch date, May 7th, Run for Recovery. This is for everybody, virtual or live. More details to come. What's that, Kyle?
Do you want those people to be solid?
Solid.
Solid. I want an absolute commitment that you have an hour. Did I make my point?
All right,
Solid.
we get it. We get it.
The solid mom.
And tomorrow at Mom's Group, 11 a.m., I'm looking forward to talking to all you ladies because I know they're part of my solid team tomorrow morning. So we'll be talking about that tomorrow morning and getting in the next 20 days, getting things behind the scenes worked out to go live. So I think that's it. You can go ahead and close it up, Art.
I just want to remind people that this work of family coaching and a war room and families getting together to work things out, I want to remind you of how important your intention is. I don't think most people know this, but for most people, their intention is to end the relationship. We don't even know that we don't know it, but for most people, it's to prove that the other person is a failed human. And that you are better than the failed humans that you're in the relationship with. So it becomes a thing where your goal in confronting the person is to confront their wrongness while presenting your rightness. And that, if that is what we're doing here, that's not what we're talking about. So what we're talking about here is to say, I want to fix the relationship. So going back to that 11 years old, I didn't tell my parents they were wrong or they were right. I wasn't being righteous. I said, from the bottom of who I was, you two need to fix this. Fix it. I didn't say end it. I didn't say do it. I said fix it. And I think families need to understand you're a family. You're in relationships. The goal when coming together to tell truth, to explain point of view, the goal is to adopt the other point of view, the one that fixes it, the one that says, hey, I'm able to see a point of view that relieves me of all my anger of you. And I get why you did what you did. I get it. I get it. And it feels good to get it. I'm glad I get it. And so I want to make sure that people understand this, because I think people are going into their family members, and when they say confronting them, what they're saying is, I want them to understand that they are wrong. And that will somehow fix the relationship. If they figure out they're wrong and I'm right, then it would fix it. No, it doesn't. There's a middle ground in there somewhere where everyone plays and everyone starts kind of understanding, like, wait, we're all playing a part here. We're all kind of wrong. We're all kind of like in the middle of this thing that has different point of views, and it's more complicated than one person being right and one person being wrong. Way more complicated. Way more complicated than my point of view is the only one that matters. That can't be. And so I want to make sure that people understand what it means to be responsible. It doesn't mean to end it. It doesn't mean to be right. It means to fix it. That's what a mom would do for her three siblings, for her three kids. She wouldn't want them to end their relationship. She'd want to fix it. We don't want to end relationships. We want to fix them. So to fix them, you have to go with that attitude that we're there to fix it. And that means both sides having that painful humility. These are the mistakes I've made. Those are the mistakes. The other person might say it, they might not. Anyways, hopefully we can we can become more transparent and less private as we go and connect deeper with each other. So
This was so good. So good.
Connect with each
Anybody who
other.
wants to watch this again, it will be up on YouTube tomorrow. I'll shoot it out as well, because this was a really good one. One to definitely watch a second time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Art. Really good. All right. Good night, everybody. See you next week.